What's up guys, and welcome back to this career mode, and I'm going to get straight into it because I did a bit of maths and I managed to work out that I really need to speed this shit up. I'm doing about 4, maybe 5 games a week, which is just not fast enough at all, to be honest. I've only got like 3 months until FIFA 18 comes out, so I need to crack on. So I think we're just going to jump straight into game number 1 and see what happens.
Could be his game today, the way he's been playing recently.
And ultimately it really was his day in the end here. The ball through to him and the goalkeeper makes a very good save, and then Standeval decides to just stick it in his own net and give them a 1-0 lead, which got even worse just before half time when a ball comes in here, bounces off the crossbar, a really good save to get it up and away, but then it just lands back at Che Adams' feet again and he just volleys it in the bottom of the net and nobody's there to stop it. So yeah, that was pretty much that game. As you can see here, the stats is very, very level, and when I've got more possession than another team, that usually means I've dominated them, but I just couldn't find any way through them, which is just an absolute disaster. So yeah, it was a bad loss there, and after the game I decided that that boy was worth scouting, so I decided to go and add him to my shortlist. I also found this lad, came up on my news feed, that he looked like he's one for the future. He's got very promising looking stats there, so yeah, we'll have a look at him as we get into our second game of the day, which is up against Leeds United in the Championship again, and hopefully this one goes a bit better than the one against Birmingham did. So we'll get into this. Yes, we will. And this game was actually quite a tight game. As you can see here, I'm actually giving a debut to Moreno Barroso, our new striker that we signed from Celta Vigo, I think it was. And yeah, it was actually quite a very close game in the end. It was a lot of chances, well, not a lot of chances, but chances, equal number of chances at either end. As you can see here, we pull the lead in the 30th minute with a lovely little ball over the top to Barroso, who gets a goal on his debut, and one touch takes it down and just sends it over the top of the goalkeeper. I'm not sure, I don't know if that's Rob Green or not. And that was absolutely just ridiculous. The audacity to try this on the stroke of half time on the volley. It ended up a yard wide, but if that had gone in, it would have been absolutely stunning, as they managed to pull one back here with a header that really shouldn't have ended up in the net. I don't know how he manages to win that header as easily as he does, but from the resulting kickoff we end up going up the other end and pulling it straight back into our favour. So a ball here into Farrell, very nice little back heel into Barroso, who gets his second goal. He's only played 66 minutes for us, but he's got 2 goals so far, and I go and rub it in down the camera as well, just for good measure. As you can see there, a lovely back heel straight to Barroso, leaves the defenders just standing, don't know where he's going, and sticks it in the net. As you can see there, it was a very close game on stats, just a couple of shots in it, and ultimately we managed to win. But we'll jump straight in here to our second game of the, well, third game of the video, which is up against Brentford, another league game, and a game that we should win. And well, there wasn't really much happened in it, but this was the first thing that really happened. 5 minutes in, and somehow I managed to break their defender. I don't know how, I think he must have smashed his face in. But yeah, he had to go off on the stretcher, so it was unfortunate for him, as they somehow managed to pull a lead here. And I mean, look at this. Another own goal. 2 own goals in 3 games. It's an absolute joke. And I mean, the spin on the ball that takes it back to the player out wide, he just lashes it across the box, and Kepikawa just places it in his own net. I have no idea what he's doing. Why he thought that was a reasonable thing to do. Is here, 10 minutes left to go, we managed to pull it back. They were playing around with it in the back line a little bit too much. A bit of pressure on there with, I think it was Kepikawa, redeems himself slightly there by winning the ball back, that ultimately results in a goal. As you can see again, another tight game. They had more possession, but shots wise it was very close. As I think we'll now jump into our next game, which is up against Roma. We've got a little press conference here as well, because this is our first group game of the season in the Europa League, which, well, talk about chucking us in at the deep end, straight in against Roma of all teams. Here we go, in the Stadio Olimpico, looking absolutely stunning with its displays going on around the outside of the stands, and yeah, it just looks absolutely brilliant. And this game was extremely one-sided, but we somehow managed to get a goal. I've no idea. 45th minute, we managed to win a corner, stick it in, and Lee Wakefield sticks it over the top of the goalkeeper, which, I mean, I don't know who they've got in goal, but they don't have Szczesny anymore because he's now been recalled from his loan to Arsenal. So yeah, I'm not sure what their goalkeeping situation is, but Roma just had so many chances, they just couldn't break us down, as we almost and probably should have got a second goal here. And I think it was Florenzi makes an absolutely stunning tackle to break up the potential goal threat there by Cole Stockton. As you can see that Roma, 9 shots to our 3, we only had 2 on target, we managed to score 1. So yeah, it was a very one-sided game for the most part. I was quite happy to just sit back and defend, to be honest. But we'll get into the next game here as we continue on our train through. We've got a ball through here to Lewis Baker, who somehow manages to find the bottom corner past the goalkeeper. It was a very, very nice little reverse ball and a very good run by Lewis Baker. It's something you don't see often enough on FIFA, I don't think, is players making decent runs through the defence. As we now get into the 48th minute here, and the ball from Kevin Farrell just sticks it straight on Kawomya's foot, and he just passes it past the goalkeeper. He finds an absolute acre of space in the centre of the box. Should never have that much space. As we get another break here with Kawomya, ball over the top from Turner, and Kawomya just passes it underneath the goalkeeper. His defence just can't handle his pace, and I mean, I don't know, a very unorthodox attempt to save the ball there by the goalkeeper, as they managed to somehow get one back in the last minute. It was a very nice ball, but our defence was the bloody fucking Red Sea there just parted, and there was just so much space for him to just run straight through. But as you can see, there was not much in the way of chances for them, but they managed to find themselves a goal. And that Che Adams that I had a look at earlier has finished his scouting, and he actually looks like a potential signing I might look at in the future. But I've already got 4 strikers, I don't need another one, but it seems like the game's just throwing quality strikers my direction, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But we'll get into the next game, which is up against Southend United in the EFL Cup, and well, they managed to take the lead in the 70th minute. It was a very, very tight game. Not much in the way of chances either end until the last 15-20 minutes of the game, as we managed to score ourselves pretty much what was an own goal. I think the game actually gave it to us in the end, but it should have probably been an own goal. And with 5 minutes remaining on the clock, we managed to win it, with Mourinho makes a very quick run, and the defence just can't stay with them. They conceded that goal. After taking the lead, they conceded, and I think they just pushed their team right up the field trying to get themselves back into the lead again, and ultimately conceded on the break. And as you can see, I had 13 shots to their 3, but I just couldn't break them down. And yeah, it took them scoring a goal before we could actually get anything back. As we'll get into the next game, which is up against Cardiff City in the not the EFL Cup, it's the Championship. As you can see here, we've actually got the best defensive record in the league, with only 6 goals conceded all season. I mean, we've only played like 5 games, but that's still not a bad record. And this is basically the only thing that happened, and probably should have been a goal, to be honest. And somehow I managed to head it into the back of the defender's head, and the goalkeeper manages to save it. And yeah, it wasn't a great game. Ended in a 0-0 draw, but we probably should have won it. And then I get news that we've lost Juan Comar, I think it was, injured, which means he's ruled out of this game against Trabzonspor, and also the Leeds game, I think it is, next as well, which no, Ipswich is after this. But we're going to get into this. This is our second game in the group stage of the Europa League, which, I mean, you can see there, Trabzonspor have drew the first game with Mould, and we managed to win ours against Roma, so we're actually top of the group. As only 21 minutes on the clock, we managed to get ourselves a penalty. I have no idea what the defender was doing here, what he thought he was going to achieve out of this, but he just goes studs up into the back of, I think it's Arne Wildig's leg, into the back of his shin. There we go, just straight in through the back of his ankle, and we get a penalty, and Lewis Baker, a little stuttery run, sticks it bottom corner. So we're 1-0 up against a what could have been a very dodgy game out in Turkey, and we get another goal on the stroke of half time. Mourinho, ball through here, Farrell into Mourinho, takes a touch, and then just passes it into the far post. And it got even better for us here with Colin Farrell, another assist to Mourinho with another goal. And yeah, we weren't finished there either. We managed to get another one after this. As you can see here, a very, very nice little just ball through in front of him. And we get, yeah, here's our next one, as we give it into Farrell, who somehow pushes the defender out of the way, which just shouldn't be happening. Farrell's got the fucking strength of a bloody flea, but he somehow manages to hold him off. As you can see, Trabzonspor, 17 shots to our 9, but they couldn't score. We just managed to keep our defensive record clean, just continuing this absolutely stunning defensive record we've had at the start of the season. But I think what I'm going to do now is end the video. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, we've absolutely ravaged through a ton of games, so yeah, I think we're going to continue doing this because we need to get through these games as quick as possible, and just ignore what's going on the screen at the moment. We're going to try and get into the next game, but we're not going to. We're going to join that game next week when we're up against Ipswich Town, and we'll find out what happens then. So if you've enjoyed this video, then give it a massive thumbs up, subscribe as well if you're new around here and you want to watch more of my stuff, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week when we'll do this game up against Ipswich. Until then, cheerio!